on this episode, how you can catch up to your fellow competitors and lifters and be able to match them or beat them in competition in the future. So a lot of times, especially in the younger upcoming generation of lifters, I get a question of Amir, what are the lifts of other competitors of my age category and my weight category compared to me? And this typically comes from like a relatively beginner lifter who's looking to get into powerlifting or even weightlifting. And so obviously the other lifters in their category, in their age category and their weight category in Australia are ahead of them because they've been training for much longer. So say, for example, the top 5 guys have a deadlift of, say, 250 in that weight category. But he has a deadlift of, say, 200, and there's a 50 kilo gap. So in theory, he assumes that there is this much of a gap between him and the competitors, and that the competitor is continuously training and he is going to be training, but there's always going to be this same gap remaining because as much as he's training, the competitor is training as well. In theory, that sounds all well and good, but in reality, that's not how it works. You can absolutely catch up and beat whoever's in front of you because real life happens, and in real life, this may be the gap. You're here and your competitor is here, but along the way, your competitor may get distracted, sidetracked, and that gap shortens because you keep the consistency up. And as you progress some more through the months, your competitor again may get injured and get backtracked again, and you catch up. So the gap lessens even more. And along the way, other things may happen. They may underestimate you as a lifter and not put in as much effort as they normally do. And again, the gap closes. And on it goes. And what's more is, even if they are 50 kilos in front of you, that doesn't mean they will always keep progressing at the same rate. Eventually, when you go from 250 kilos to 280 kilos deadlift to 300 kilos to, say, even the early 300s, eventually and gradually along this timeline, their progress is going to have to slow down, as it happens with everybody. So all it really comes down to is which one of you two is going to be more consistent over the coming months and over the coming years. That's the one who's going to end up winning. So if right now you're watching this and you're a lifter who wants to get into lifting, who's already started competing and are looking at others in your weight division, in your age category, and thinking they are so far ahead, how am I going to ever catch up? Well, that's the thing. You got to be more consistent and more driven and more focused for longer than they are. Eventually, so the game is who is going to falter first, who's going to give up that focus first, who's going to get sidetracked by life, whether it be things that are forced or not forced. So whether it's family issues that come up or whether you just sort of lose discipline. Either way, competition is competition, and the body doesn't care. If you get sidetracked, whatever the reason may be. And that's your opportunity to pounce and catch up. So don't think about it in terms of, oh, this other person's so far in front of me, I'm never going to catch up. Think instead, how am I going to keep staying consistent? Because eventually you will catch up.
Hello guys, welcome to Just a Tip. Today I want to talk about how to